Forum, following by Ontario Native Women's Association. Global Naga Forum, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, experts and delegates. Only 2 months ago, the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization addressed a permanent forum on Indigenous issues on behalf of the Naga people, raising concerns about the silencing of human rights defenders in India and the protracted conflict between the Indigenous Naga community and the Government of India. Today we speak once again on behalf of the Global Naga Forum, as Naga human rights defenders continue to face travel restrictions that have prevented them from attending this session. Their absence reflects the systemic barriers they face not only in participating in international forums such as this, but also in exercising their fundamental rights at home, including the right to maintain and develop their traditional economies. The Nagas, living across India and Myanmar, possess a unique history and identity, deeply tied to their ancestral lands and traditional governance systems. This was recognized by the Government of India in 2002 and by the 2015 Framework Agreement. Despite this, the Indo-Naga peace process remains stalled. The Framework Agreement remains unimplemented, and the Naga people continue to live under the shadow of the Armed Special Powers Act, which fosters impunity and has led to grave human rights violations, as tragically illustrated by the Oteng massacre in 2021. This protracted conflict also has direct consequences for the Naga people's traditional economies. Traditional economies are not merely systems of livelihood. They are rooted in ancestral land, kinship networks, cultural heritage, and self-governance. Yet these very foundations are under assault for the Naga people across Myanmar-occupied regions and all 4 Indian-occupied states they inhabit: Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and Manipur. The construction of the border fence between India and Myanmar has dismantled the freedom of movement regime, severing kinship ties, disrupting trade, limiting access to farmland, undermining social-cultural cohesion, and weakening intergenerational transmission of knowledge. Further compounding the problem is India's refusal to legally recognize indigenous peoples, undermining the application of international legal protections and blocking progress toward restoring traditional economies, governance systems, and cultural identity. We respectfully urge the expert mechanism and UN member states to call on the Government of India to implement the 2015 Framework Agreement, to repeal the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, to reinstate the freedom of movement regime across the Indo-Myanmar border, and initiate meaningful community-based dialogue with Naga representatives and local communities to explore rights-based and cooperative alternatives to border fencing, and to ensure border management is conducted in consultation with those affected. And lastly, to formally recognize the distinct legal status of indigenous peoples in India. The Naga people remain willing to engage in dialogue and to work constructively with the Government of India to achieve a peaceful and just resolution that honors their dignity and heritage. We urge this forum to support their aspirations for peace, justice, and self-determination. Thank you, Chair.
Now I give the floor to Ontario